Before we begin, this video is dedicated to the one and only Cheeky Baby, whose love and support makes this and all my other pendejadas possible. When the original Red Dead Redemption released back in 2010, it made quite an impression. It came out to near universal praise and was considered a must-play in its time, quickly cementing itself as a masterpiece. Middle school me loved the game and would spend hours in my room just getting to 100% completion. The gameplay was as standard as a Rockstar sandbox comes, but the Wild West setting and the story made it stand out against anything that was out at the time. When the sequel was announced, I, like many other fans of the original, was extremely excited. Yo, bro, why is the house on fire? Bro, what? Yo, this game looks crazy good.
Product not yet rated.
But as hyped as I was, I knew to keep my expectations in check. We knew it couldn't be a sequel as the main focus of the original was the decline of the West and the introduction of modern civilization, so fans like me were more than happy for a prequel. Having it set further in the past made perfect sense since it would let us have more of that Wild West we loved, plus fans could learn more of the backgrounds of the characters we already knew and loved. And as if I didn't need any more reason to love the game, this cutie patootie that I'm head over heels for actually bought the game for me. So naturally, with so much love and hype surrounding the game, Red Dead Redemption 2 has to be one of my favorite games, right? No, I actually fucking hate this game.
Well, let me get this straight. You think that
Red Dead Redemption 2 is a bad game?
I do. And I'm tired of pretending it's not.
To clear the air, I don't hate the game so much because I'm so nostalgic for the original that nothing could live up to my unreasonably high expectations. I'll admit, I love the original. But I went back and played it again just to make sure I wasn't being nostalgic, and I admit, Red Dead Redemption 1 hasn't aged perfectly, and it is a bit dated in terms of gameplay.
Go back and tell them to send someone just a little bit more impressive next time.
Well,
Well, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen, dumbass? He had the high ground, you fool! Haven't you seen a Star Wars? Think, John, think!
Oh. Poor John.
But it does more right than Red Dead Redemption 2 gets wrong. That sounds a little weird. Here, let me explain. Red Dead Redemption 2 does have more outstanding moments that completely overshadow most of what was found in Red Dead Redemption 1, and the graphical upgrade goes a long way in showing what these characters are emotionally going through. But Red Dead Redemption 2 has too many bad elements that make it difficult to just focus on the good. It feels like Red Dead Redemption 2 is a decent game with a few too many flaws keeping it from being great, which is honestly worse than just being a straight up bad game. When the game clicks and you're feeling like a gunslinger defying the rules of society for the sake of your ragtag family, it just makes it hurt that much more when you have to go back to the boring, monotonous gameplay. Yay me, I was hunting for a whole hour and almost made a whole $1. Mom would be proud. I say this with no exaggeration. Red Dead Redemption 2 feels like a game that was designed to be a chore to play. Every decision the developers made feels like they came up with a good concept and then sat around in a circle and thought, okay, now how can we make this as painful as possible for the players? What if we constantly force them to stop having fun and make them cook food by a campfire? James, you're a genius. Here's the keys to my car and home. Go fuck my wife. Thank you, sir. Remember when people were mad that God of War beat Red Dead 2 for Game of the Year? Ooh, homie, you don't know how bad you messed up. Ooh, come on. Ooh, I don't know why you thought challenging the God of War was a good idea. Ooh. Hey, let's play catch. Oh, you suck at this game. Clearly they had a point. I know that Rockstar was going for a slow, realistic portrayal of the Wild West, but they overdid it with these types of mechanics. Is hold A to shovel manure really the best way to demonstrate how boring and honest living was compared to the adventures of an outlaw? Oh, dude, Dude, you are not ready for what is about to happen. How could I have been so blind? It's so deep on so many levels.
Dark and mysterious that it generates butterflies in my stomach, and that goes to tickles in my spine, and that creates goose pimples, and then that penetrates my mind, and then...
I have now learned my lesson. I will never form an opinion different from the internet status quo ever again. Honestly, the fact that hold X to pay respects became a meme, but hold A to shovel manure is considered masterful storytelling is the main motivation driving me to make this video. Don't get me wrong, I see how these details add to the world and really make you feel like Batman. I mean a cowboy. But shoveling manure is just one of the many terrible mechanics that really didn't need to be there. A lot of the gameplay serves no purpose other than to pull you away from any fun you might be having. Oh, hey there, Arthur. You wanna go rob a bank or something? Nah, man, I think I'm gonna be hungry in like 5 minutes, so I think I'm gonna go just shoot a deer or something. Some of you probably think I'm exaggerating when I say that, but even something as simple as keeping your health maxed feels like a chore. One of the new mechanics that RDR2 introduces is the core system. They're these two little things right here. Each one has a purpose and requires its unique kind of maintenance. This one with the heart is your health core. It shows you how much health you have and how quickly it regenerates. This one with the lightning bolt is the stamina core. It shows you how much longer you can run, and actually, no, that's about it. And last, but usually the least filled because this shit dries up faster than my girlfriend after I dab, the Deadeye core, which is what's used to activate the bullet time mechanic.
You know? It's like bang, 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 bangity bang, instead of bang, bang, bangity bang, 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 bang.
Each of the cores can be upgraded and you're gonna have to put in some work in order to keep them maxed. Granted, it's not a lot of work, but keeping them maxed ties into a lot of other game mechanics that break immersion, almost like you're being penalized for playing the game. What exactly do I mean by this? Let me explain. You remember how in Red Dead 1, if you were getting shot, all I had to do was not get shot for like 5 seconds and go back to shooting the bad guys? And now that I got that out of my system, I just want you all to know, whoever shot that bullet, your mom's a hoe. Well, Red Dead 2 decided to ditch it for this weird kind of survival game-esque but not really health bar that you need to keep maxed by eating. Now the health still regenerates the same way as it did in RDR1. Rockstar just added the fact that you won't heal on an empty stomach. So the more full your stomach, the faster your health will regenerate, if it regenerates at all. Rockstar, why? I get that you were going for a more realistic world, but making us eat so we have the ability to be a super regenerating bullet sponge just breaks immersion and takes the fun out of the game. Did you just stab me? Great. Well, now I'm hungry. Alright, pues a ver. Oh, this looks tasty. It feels like I have to fight my own stomach, plus the bad guys now. And it's just annoying to have to drop everything to get food in order to keep eating so I can safely get shot. It's like the health core is there to stop you from enjoying the game too much.
Girl.
To Rockstar's credit, food isn't the hardest thing to come by. Usually you will find some random food lying around in the areas you shoot through. And even if you run out, you can always try hunting. But as someone who spent over 40 hours on this game, allow me to help you out by saying, hunting is probably the most annoying part of the game, and I highly recommend you skip everything that has to do with it.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Rockstar completely changed up how you hunt in the sequel. Whereas before, hunting was as simple as find it,
There he is!
kill it,
Nice.
skin it, and just like that, you got yourself some nice quality meat to sell at any general store. You could make more money if you sell the pelt to a general store that the animal is not found in, but that's as complicated as it got. Red Dead 2's hunting straight up does not want you to have a good time. Instead of each animal having a set value with a little bonus, animals now have one of 3 tiers: perfect, great, and poor. And you have to be very careful how you kill it, otherwise the perfect pelt goes straight to poor. If you find a perfect animal, you can't just walk up to it with a stick of dynamite and skin it for full value, like you could in the first version. Every animal has a specific weapon that is tied to it that must be used for a clean kill. Clean kills must be done on a weak point, usually the head, to ensure that your perfect animal drops a perfect pelt, which you could then sell or use to unlock unique clothing. That's already a lot of work, but to make sure you really felt no need to hunt, Rockstar, in their extreme desire to make the game realistic, decided to leave what quality pelts animals have up to RNG. So if you're hunting for a specific perfect pelt, and you find an animal that has the specific pelt you're looking for, there's a good chance you already fucked up. Yay! You will waste hours, not because you made a mistake or because there was something you could have done better as a hunter, but because the game looked at your hard work and said,
Psych! That's the wrong number!
and if you think I'm exaggerating, you see this mission right here? Find and skin 3 perfect rabbits. Sounds easy, right? And rabbits aren't the rarest animal ever. Surely I wouldn't have any problems completing this challenge before I beat the game, right? I played this game for close to 72 hours and I only got 1 fucking perfect rabbit. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't need to stock up on food, please don't bother hunting. Just eat the random food cluttering your inventory. You're better off. That health core really is an annoying thing to manage. But you know what? At least it doesn't annoy you too often and can mostly be ignored when it doesn't decide to bother you. Not the case for the Deadeye core. By far, the worst core to maintain in the game is Deadeye. In the first game, you land a clean headshot, you refill a good chunk of Deadeye, and you can keep marking enemies and feel like a gunslinging badass.
You don't learn that in school!
Red Dead 2 decides it doesn't want you to have fun and instead makes it so that you can only use Deadeye a few times before the core depletes and you gotta refill it. Well, how do you refill it? The same way you refill health. So all that ranting I did about having to keep your health maxed, let's just go ahead and multiply that by 2. To the game's credit, you can fortify the core so that it won't go down for a few seconds after you use it. But since aiming itself slows down while in Deadeye, it feels like it goes by way too fast. You can increase how many times you can use Deadeye by landing headshots, which, while a nice incentive to keep aiming for the head, doesn't do much to fix the issue of Deadeye going down way too fast, even when at really high levels. Overall, Deadeye is basically copy and pasted from Red Dead Redemption 1, except made worse because of the core system. And the stamina core! I'll admit it ain't that bad. This will probably be the one you max out early, as all you have to do is run and you'll slowly increase it until it's maxed. It regenerates pretty quick as long as the core is filled, and chances are it will be pretty full since usually when you refill the other ones, it refills the stamina as well. So props to Rockstar, they couldn't find a way to mess up tap A to run faster. At this point, you're probably bored of hearing me talk about the game mechanics, right? Well, I'm the one who had to learn and use these game mechanics for 70 plus hours.
But imagine how tired we are.
Imagine how tired we are of it.
But now that we got all that boring core stuff out of the way, let's talk about the more hands-on gameplay. Starting with the most important one, controlling your horse.
Here.
More credit to Rockstar. I easily prefer how the horse feels in this game. There's a sort of weight to your presses that the first one completely misses. It's really hard to explain, as you really are just tapping a button in sync with the horse's gallops. But the way the sound effects are mixed into the audio ensures that you feel that it's your tapping that's making the horse move forward. But with a map as big as this though, your horse rides often last minutes at a time and it gets really tiring really quickly. Rockstar knew this might happen, so they added a cinematic mode where you could just hold the button and the horse takes itself to the destination as you enjoy the ride. This feature is a lie, and I strongly recommend you don't use it. As much as I want to give credit to Rockstar for a great step forward, they added one more feature that makes controlling your horse feel like 2 steps back. Shitty horse physics. I mean that your horse will fall and fall over and over again. In a game where your main source of moving around is riding a horse, Rockstar made riding the horse one of the most annoying and tiring parts of the game. At completely random times, your horse will decide that its mission is to go anywhere except for where you want it to go. I'm telling you, sometimes your horse will just fall or decide that it just does not want to move in a straight line. And don't try to tell me it's low-key my fault, because even the AI itself can't control the horse 100% of the time. What I'm about to show you is a cutscene. I have zero input over what is about to happen. Literally nothing short of me messing with the game files, which I assure you I am too stupid to even know how to do, can affect what is about to happen. Here it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, I failed the mission during a cutscene, because not even the AI itself can keep the horse where it wants. And this was not a one-time issue. I immediately tried to do this again, got the same result. Eventually I had to restart the whole mission and it seemed to snap the horse out of whatever the hell was wrong with it. But the fact that this happened at all is proof enough that the horse really is just too fucking sensitive. I know you are probably tired of listening to me talk about minor gameplay issues as much as I was tired of having to play through them. So for the sake of time and my sanity, I'm just gonna speedrun these next complaints. Buying stuff is annoying. You have to buy everything through this book the shopkeeper shows you, and author flips through the pages in real time. The shopkeeper also never shuts up as you're buying.
If you want to stay another night, the room is still available for you.
Looting enemies is annoying. It takes forever to do it, and if you are doing this during a story mission, which is where you'll be making the most bodies, the NPCs will always tell you to hurry up and push you to the next thing.
Just waiting on you, Arthur.
They decided adding weapon degradation was a good idea for some reason. All it does is make your weapons do less damage, which can be noticeable when you're fighting a lot of enemies with your preferred pistol. The system is so half-assed that Rockstar really would have been better off just not using it. There's kinda sorta quicktime events. Press B to not die by bear, which, I mean, I guess. They added this very boring melee fighting mechanic. It's not fun and basically amounts to tap B to win. It's eh. There's a camp upgrade system which seems like it's going to be a huge part of the game, but honestly it's more of an optional way to burn your money. Aside from a few key upgrades, you really don't need to do any of this. Speaking of which, fast travel isn't unlocked naturally and it's hidden behind the camp upgrade system. The game says you can upgrade Arthur's tent, but doesn't tell you that it will unlock fast travel. I'm glad I knew this was how you unlock fast travel, otherwise I would have just not cared enough to bother since the upgrades never gave me anything interesting.
Pass.
The game does have its moments.
Well, leaving love aside, you think we got this?
Don't you never leave love aside, Arthur. It's all we got.
But the gameplay keeps taking away from the greatness of the good. I admit it's pretty, it obviously had a lot of care put into it, but a game isn't just about how pretty it is. If the basic gameplay isn't enough to keep me invested, why should I keep trudging through? I quit this game very early on the first time through. It wasn't until I saw the crazy amount of praise it got that I felt the urge to go back, play it all the way through looking for some greatness that deep down I knew I wouldn't find, and I hate to admit that this game is just as big a chore as it was the first time through. But the gameplay isn't the main focus. The game is supposed to feel clunky and awkward because it enhances the story. The story is really good and is the best part of the game. Oh ho ho. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I plan on getting to the story. Eventually. Just this first video took me about a year to make, and honestly I kinda need to relax from editing for a while. So in the meantime, let me know whether or not you agree with what I said, what did you like, what didn't you like, the whole shebang. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Stay awesome.